Howdy, 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 and more howdy to you. Welcome to the Lady Walker Show. I am Lady Walker, and beloved, we have another fantastic show in store for you. Yeah, I have three guests, three sisters, make up the tri-president of the John and Vera Mae Perkins Foundation, and they are here to tell us about the foundation as well as its asset to the community. So welcome to the show, one of the first sisters, Deborah Perkins. Howdy, Deborah.
Hello, hello.
How are you?
It's great to be here. I'm doing amazing.
Great, 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 great. So we got some interesting things to expound upon about the foundation, the John and Vera Mae Perkins Foundation.
And we just like to call it Perkins Foundation.
Okay, Perkins. Oh, yeah, good, because that's good for me. Perkins Foundation. Well, tell us a little bit about who is Deborah. I know you are one of the daughters, but tell us a little bit about how you came to be part of the foundation.
I came to be part of the Perkins Foundation. It sort of happened when I was 10 years old. A lot of incidents happened in my father's life. I brought a copy of his book here, Let Justice Roll Down. And at 10 years old, we was involved in the civil rights movement. But the most important thing about that is sometimes you're afraid to say God told you something. But I felt a vision came, and God said, you're going to go off, live your life, and when it come time to create the legacy, I'm going to bring you home. So for the last 35 years, I've been living in California, and 4 years ago, I returned home.
4 years. Are you all originally from Mississippi?
Yes, we're originally from Mississippi.
And
Both my parents were born here.
Oh, okay. So eventually, you went out to California.
Right.
And came back 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And the tri-president, tell us how did that title come about, tri-president of the Perkins Foundation?
The Perkins Foundation was going through some changes. So my sisters and I approached the board of directors and said, will you give us an opportunity to facilitate it? And that happened a year and a half ago. And since then, the Perkins Foundation has been moving up. We have a wonderful strategic plan in place. My role is the accounting, developing an organization that has integrity, and also with the local church and colleges. So I'm out, local churches around the state of Mississippi and the colleges, Jackson State, Mississippi College, Belhaven, Millsaps. All the local colleges come to our campus and help keep the property alive.
Really? So they are in partnership with Perkins Foundation.
Right, and so I'm seeking more churches. Don't be surprised, church, if you hear from me saying, bring a missions team. You know, come and participate in our Perkins Justice Pilgrimage. Come and volunteer at our program. So
okay,
a lot of happening.
That's good. Now, the vision of Perkins Foundation is, I know reconciliation certainly is one of those
The
visions.
main key is to carry the gospel to the world. And so the Perkins Foundation is an international organization. It is known absolutely in many countries around the world, but throughout North America. And so we have mission teams and churches that support us from all over. And one of our roles is to go out, and now going out to speak and sharing with those congregations how much they have helped the Perkins Foundation to grow to this new level. So
That's great. So is it just 3 girls only, or are there any brothers?
My parents originally had 4 girls and 4 boys. And all the boys have been through as far as leadership, and the grandsons. Now my parents are 87 and 84.
Wow.
My mom will be 84 next month. And the 3 girls are taking it to a new level. But we need men around to do some of that heavy lifting and renovate these houses and be there for our young boys. So the 3 girls are in leadership of it. We call it the tri-presidents. And that's with the understanding that we make decisions as a consensus. And it was interpreted as a 3-chord. And if they all bind together, it can be much stronger. So that's one of the things that's important, is that we make good decisions, and we have an excellent board of directors who support us in that.
Yeah.
So,
Now tell me about the housing project that the Perkins Foundation is involved in.
that is so my baby. What we're doing in West Jackson is we have purchased some housing. And what we want to do is get those houses renovated, put sometimes single mothers with children in those houses. Their children can be a part of our program, with the ultimate goal is when they become long-term renters and we see that they could be responsible in keeping up a house, our desire is to someday for them to own that house. We sell it back to them. So what we want to do is not so much rent to own, but sort of teach and develop to own.
That's great.
And so
That
teach
is
people how
great.
they can become homeowners, because that's real important.
It is. It really
And
is.
especially in West Jackson, a lot of changes is taking place. So we need many, many volunteers from all over the city, all over the country, all over the world to come to Jackson, Mississippi and help us renovate these houses, help us purchase these houses.
That is great. Now tell me about that book, because your father has written how many books?
At least 14.
14.
And probably the forward for another 14.
Really?
And so this one right here is autobiography, how it all started in Mississippi, how he ended up going to California and coming back. So this is his autobiography, Let Justice Roll Down. And so you can get that on our website, jvmpf.org, or you could call me if you want to volunteer or you want to get involved in the Perkins Foundation. Call me, And
Because y'all do have room for volunteers and interns as well.
oh, that would be absolutely magnificent. And we're starting what we call the Perkins Justice Pilgrimage that you'll be hearing more about, where groups can come and get hands-on what actually reconciliation is. What is biblical justice? What is Christian community development? What is holistic discipleship? And so when people come, arrive on a Thursday, leave Sunday after service, and come here and have a very intense 2 to 3 day time here in the headquarters, since the Perkins Foundation is known all over, but it's headquartered right here in Jackson, Mississippi on Robinson Street.
All right, well, we are going to take a break, and we are going to come back and continue along the line of finding out about the Perkins Foundation. We will be right back. Welcome back, beloved. My guest is Deborah Perkins. She is part of the tri-presidents of the Perkins Foundation. All righty then. Tell us about the original birthplace of Perkins Foundation.
Right. In 1957, I call him Dr. P, a.k.a. Dad. Dr. John Perkins and his wife, Vera Mae Perkins, our parents, he became a Christian in 1957. After 3 years of discipleship, that's why discipleship is so important after you become a Christian. After 3 years of discipleship in 1960, he felt that God was calling him back to Mississippi. And how he ended up in California in the first place is a story in its own, and that covered in his autobiography, Let Justice Roll Down. But he came back, and we ended up in this small, wonderful town called Mendenhall, Mississippi. And that's where we lived from 10 to 12 years before we moved to Jackson. And in Mendenhall, the Mendenhall ministry is still going on strong. The president is Artist Fletcher. He's on our board of directors. When we bring groups as far as the Perkins Justice Pilgrimage, we want to take them down to Mendenhall Bible Church. It is a place that you have to see. It's the birthplace of the whole community development movement. And we're really excited that we're still partnering so strong with the Mendenhall Bible Church.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about the next book that your daddy wrote.
This one is With Justice for All, and this is another title of a DVD called Passions for Justice. That's Let Justice Roll Down. So what the theme is, you see the theme of justice, biblical justice. Sometimes you hear about social justice, but we want to focus on the biblical aspect of justice and what that means as far as to be reconciled, not only to your God, to your sisters, to your dad, to your brothers, but into your community. So when people come to Mississippi for our Perkins Justice Pilgrimage, they bring a person of a different ethnic group. And we have these in-depth discussions about reconciliation and what that means, whether it's the old anger, to heal some of that old anger, to heal, you hear questions like, can black people be racist? You hear about why we're in the predicament we're in. We talk about economic privilege.
That's great.
You know? And so when we got the people all over the world, all over the country, come down and call us about information about that. And we might say our number at the end, but I just want to say it's 601-354-1563. Or you could Google Perkins Foundation and just find out the information you need to come on down to the headquarters of the Perkins Foundation. And it's known all over. People all over the country have used this for a model. And we are so excited that those people are going to be coming back here to see firsthand and learn from us, and we learn from them.
That is so interesting. Your parents are founders of it, and they started this. And your father saw a need for this kind of foundation. And so his kids got involved at a younger age.
We got involved at a younger age. One thing our father wanted to really stress with us is we are not entitled to carry on this foundation. We are here because we feel God wants us to be. When we say what type of stipend we get, people sort of cry. How can you even live off that? But the resources that's given to us, we put it right back into the community. We put it right back into the foundation. And so we're not here because of entitlement. We're not here because we were handpicked. We are here because we feel God called us to be here. Because if I had my choice, we could be living any place we want to in the world. But this is the time and place for us to be at the Perkins Foundation at this moment, to take it to the new level. And the thing that I know how that's true is that we are 3 women. And society sometimes say, where are the men in leadership? But you know what? Men, women, children, parents all over the country have gotten behind us in such an awesome way. We get calls every day of encouragement. Girls, stay focused, stay committed to God, stay together as that 3 chord that we hear about. And so we need your prayers. We want you to pray for us, all over the world. And so we are so thrilled how God is blessing the Perkins Foundation and taking it to a whole new level that we couldn't even imagine in just a year and a half.
Just a year and a half. Do your father still go around and speak?
Yes, he goes around and speaks. My sister Priscilla travels with my father on a daily basis. I tried. That wasn't a part of my DNA.
Okay.
And so what we try to do is put, of the 3 girls, Elizabeth Perkins, she's involved in the programs. She is absolutely excellent. We encourage people to come and have a tour and see the programs. We have a facility that you can rent for weddings, barbecues, family reunions, birthday parties. We have an absolutely amazing facility.
Where is that located?
That's located at 1831 Robinson Street, right here in Jackson, Mississippi, in our own backyard. And people all over the country know about that center there, that Perkins Foundation location. And we want the local community, it's just growing so much. So that's why we need volunteers. That's why we need people to come down, where it's 3 months or a year, live right there, serve right there with us, and we're gonna give back to the community. A lot of people have been so blessed and so fortunate to have the opportunity and the resources where they could just come and be at a place for 3 months, be at a place for a year, and just give back to the community. So that's what we want to encourage people to do. Come to the Perkins Foundation, come and serve with us and give back.
All right, well, great. That's good to know. And on that note, beloved, we are going to take another break, and we are going to come back with Priscilla or either Elizabeth. We'll find out during the break. Be right back. The Perkins Foundation. For more information, to obtain a copy or copies of John M. Perkins' books, or to intern, volunteer, or to donate, log on to www.jvmpsf.org or call 601-354-1563. Welcome back, my peeps. We are back with the Perkins Sisters, the next two, which is Priscilla and Elizabeth.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Howdy, howdy, howdy. Y'all been sitting back enjoying your sister telling us about the foundation.
Right,
now
right.
it's you all's time to tell us about the Perkins Foundation. Now tell us your part.
I'm Priscilla, and I do development, and I travel with my father. So I keep his schedule together. I manage him from day to day. He travels all over the world, sharing about reconciliation, justice, and Christian community development. He has written 16 books. She said 14, but 16, and this is his newest one. This is his memoir. It is about his life of being born in a sharecropper's family, his mother dying at 9 months old of starvation, and about his life of poverty and of the problems that he had throughout his life, and of people. He's being beaten in jail and everything, and so he has he's looking back over his life, but then looking and giving hope for the future. So it's a very inspiring book, and it's doing very, very well. So we encourage people to get it. It's called Dream With Me, and it's he wants people to dream with him. Just like Martin Luther King had a dream, he wants people to dream of a future of people being reconciled together, yes, reconciled to God, reconciled to each other, and reconciled to their community.
So when he goes around and speak, he is talking on that reconciliation.
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm. He's talking on reconciliation, and so he's well known outside of Mississippi, in all different places. He has different schools and universities have John Perkins Centers at them, in Seattle, Pacific, and Calvin College, mm-hmm, at Northern Seminary in Illinois, and Canada, and now we're doing one in London and Rochester, New York. So different places, they all know about him, but usually prophets aren't very well known in their own home. So he's not as well known, but we want people to know that he's here, but he's 87 years old now, and we're here to help him finish his fight well.
Great.
And so that's what we're committed to. And so a year and a half ago, we decided that we would quit our jobs, and we would surround our father and help him with this ministry and help to take it to a higher level.
So you three sisters got together, of course, with your father and your parents, and we are going to quit our jobs to help. To keep this legacy going.
Mm-hmm. Right, and we're doing it because we want to do it. We don't get paid a lot because our desire is to make the organization work, and to to put the money into the children and into the families, mm-hmm, and because a lot of ministries are top heavy when it comes to administration. Mm-hmm. People put the money in their own pocket, and we are bound and determined not to be like that. We want to honor our parents' legacy and run the organization like they have done, and honor them in that way.
Okay,
so that's what we're gonna do.
All right, Elizabeth.
Yes.
Tell us about where are you in the organization? I mean, the foundation.
I'm the youth. Well, I'm the outreach person. I do community outreach. I do youth development, youth outreach, and right now we have our summer camp. We're in our last week of our summer arts camp, and so in this fall we'll be having our Good News clubs and our mentoring program, as well as our girls and boys clubs on Thursdays. And so I do a lot of community working with the kids, and I was just talking to the young lady over there about coming and being a mentor and possibly volunteering and just really because we need people to speak into the lives of our kids. We need to begin to transfer the wisdom that we got growing up. We need to begin to transfer that to our youth today. And so that's a lot of what I do, discipleship and mentoring. So
That's great.
Yeah.
And how was it when you decided to quit your job to help keep this legacy going?
Well, I worked at a bank, and so I was really comfortable at the bank. And so Deborah approached me and she said, you need to come back. You need to come back. And I'm like, God is going to have to tell me to come back. And sure enough, he started waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm not an early bird. He started waking me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. All I could think about was he was putting the ministry on my mind, how to make this better, how to make this better. And so I knew it was the Lord. I knew it was God. Because, like I said, I had a comfortable job. And now I'm going back into the trenches, which I enjoy, And so I came back, and I came back to be with my sisters. And like my other, Deborah said, we form a 3-strand cord, and a 3-strand cord cannot easily be broken. That's scripture.
Right.
And so we are here, we are ready, and we are ready to take the foundation to a new level, because it's not about us, it's about God. It's about us discipling these kids. It's about us loving these kids. It's about us continuing the legacy. Mm-hmm. That's important. But first and foremost, it's about us doing what God has called us to do.
Well, that's great. That's great. Now, tell me about your father who dropped out in the 3rd grade, or
Right, he dropped out of school in the 3rd grade. He was a sharecropper's. He lived in a sharecropper's family. His family were bootleggers and gamblers. His mother had died when he was 7 months old of a disease called pellagra, and it is a disease of starvation. Mm-hmm. At that time, they were so poor that she did not have the nutrition that she needed, and so he dropped out in 3rd grade and grew up in a family that did not know Christ. When he was about 15, his brother went off to World War II and fought for a country for freedom. And he came back to New Hebron, Mississippi, a decorated soldier, and thought that he would have this freedom that he fought for. Mm-hmm. But he was killed in a racial incident by a sheriff.
Well, hold that for one moment, and we are going to come back and let you continue that, and then y'all can give the information out again, the contact information, just in case someone is interested in donating, interning, volunteering, and all of that. Okay. All right, beloved, we will be right back. The Perkins Foundation. For more information, to obtain a copy or copies of John M. Perkins' books, or to intern, volunteer, or to donate, log on to www.jvmpsf.org or call 601-354-1563. Welcome back, beloved. Okay, so now we are going to let Priscilla continue what she was saying.
Okay.
My father's brother Clyde died when he had just come back from World War II, and a sheriff shot him, and he died in my father's arm trying to find a hospital for him to go to. And my father was such a young radical that his family decided that they needed to send him away from the town. And so they sent him to California. And after a while in California, living there, working, he got married to my mother, and they started having children. He had my oldest brother who was about 5 years old. When he went to a Good News Club, he started learning about Jesus. My father had never heard anything about Jesus. He started learning about racial reconciliation, and so he found out that he needed to go back to Mississippi. He felt that God was calling him back there. So he became a Christian and was discipled for 3 years. And after 3 years in 1960, came back to Mississippi to work and to build reconciliation and work for that in Mississippi. So, and he started working with Voice of Calvary Ministries in Mendenhall, Mississippi. And then he got caught up in the civil rights, and he was beaten in the Brandon jail. And in that Brandon jail, that's when he learned that he wanted to preach a gospel that was stronger than his race, stronger than any, that would break all the bonds of race, social, economic barriers. And so he decided that that's what he would do, and for over 57 years he's been doing that.
That is great. That is so great. So once again, give any contact information for those who are interested in becoming an intern or volunteering, even to purchase the book or just to donate.
Well, you can purchase any books or contact us online at jvmpf.org. jvmpf.org. We're at 1831 Robinson Street, and we enjoy anyone to come by and volunteer with our children, or come by, bring a work group, your church or your college group. We love to have you come by. So please give us a call, 601-354-1563.
And to purchase any of the
Any
books,
of our supplies, you can go on our website, www.jvmpf.org/books.
Okay, well, Priscilla, Elizabeth, and Deborah Perkins, it has been a pleasing pleasure to sup a little tea with you all. And I look forward to learning about your father, more about your father, more about the foundation and all of that. And I'm pretty sure the information that you were given about him is in his books.
Online and on Wikipedia as well.
Okay then. Well, beloved, look, we got to go. Thanks to Tria for tuning in. And we will see you next time on the Lady Walker Show. Ta-ta.